The 2024 presidential race has evolved into one of the tightest, most unpredictable contests we've seen in recent years, with Donald Trump currently edging out Kamala Harris in key battleground states. Surprisingly, Trump holds a slight lead in the popular vote, a notable shift from previous elections. Typically, polling has underestimated Trump's support, meaning Harris's narrow national lead of just 0.6 doesn't offer a solid cushion. To put this in perspective, Biden held a substantial 7.2 lead over Trump at this point in 2020. Yet, despite Biden's strong polling advantage, his actual margin of victory on election day was only around 4, indicating a considerable polling error. As we approach the final stretch of this election, the path to victory is looking increasingly challenging for Harris and the Democratic Party. In the following analysis, let's delve into each crucial battleground state to understand the dynamic shaping this election. Let's start in Nevada, traditionally a state that leans Democratic. Right now, Trump is holding a lead of 0.7 over Harris, marking a significant departure from its recent history as a blue state. Since 2004, when George W. Bush was the last Republican to win Nevada, Democrats have consistently carried the state. Although Harris initially led earlier in the campaign, Trump has since overtaken her, turning Nevada into a highly contested state. Back in 2020, Biden held a comfortable 5.3 lead in Nevada polls, although his final margin of victory was a slimmer 2.4. This polling error signals that if Trump maintains his lead, he could very well win the state. Given this shift, Nevada is moving from a tilt blue designation in 2020 to lean red in 2024. Moving to Arizona, another state that underscores the shift in momentum. Trump currently has a consistent 1.6 lead over Harris. He's leading in 5 of the last 7 polls conducted there, indicating strong support. Arizona was a major victory for Democrats in 2020, as Biden won it by a mere 0.3, making him the first Democratic candidate to carry the state since Bill Clinton. Yet, despite this shift toward blue in the last election, Arizona's demographics haven't changed as rapidly as Democrats might have hoped. This year, the state is considered to have moved from lean blue in 2020 to lean red, showing how it's now likely in Trump's camp. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Then we have Colorado and New Mexico, 2 states expected to stay Democratic, but showing a trend of slightly diminished support for Harris compared to Biden in 2020. In Colorado, for instance, Harris has an 11-point lead, but this number comes from a poll conducted by a Democratic-affiliated group, which may slightly inflate her numbers. Biden held a stronger 13-point lead in Colorado at this point in 2020 and went on to win it easily. While Colorado remains likely to go blue, the narrower margin here could reflect broader national trends in Harris's support. Similarly, in New Mexico, Harris is polling at a 7.7 lead, down from Biden's 12-point lead at this time in 2020. These narrower margins suggest that while these states will likely go Democratic, the enthusiasm for Harris may not be as robust as it was for Biden, an important trend as we assess overall voter turnout and support for the Democratic ticket. Texas, always an interesting state in presidential races, has leaned Republican for decades, but Democrats have tried to make inroads here in recent elections. Back in 2020, polling suggested Biden was within striking distance, with Trump leading by only 1.1. However, Trump ultimately won Texas by a more comfortable 5.6, revealing a substantial polling miss in Democrats' favor. This time around, Trump is leading Harris by about 6 points, giving him a larger margin than he had against Biden. With Texas' massive electoral vote count, its lean toward Trump makes his path to 270 electoral votes even clearer. Texas moves from a tilt red rating in 2020 to lean or likely red this time, solidifying the state as a Republican stronghold. Shifting our focus to the Midwest, we see some of the most notable changes. Minnesota has become a surprising point of contention. In 2020, Biden led Trump by close to 10 points in polls and won the state by just over 7 points. This cycle, Harris leads by a much smaller margin of only 4.7, even though her running mate, Tim Walz, is a popular figure and current governor in Minnesota. In 2016, Hillary Clinton narrowly won Minnesota by 1 point, and while Biden expanded on that margin in 2020, Harris's narrow lead suggests it's much more in play for Republicans. As a result, Minnesota has moved from a likely blue rating in 2020 to lean blue this year, putting it closer to the toss-up category. Iowa also shows a notable shift in Trump's favor. In 2020, polling showed a close race, with Trump expected to win by about 1 point. Yet, Trump ultimately won by a significant 8-point margin, indicating that polls here may have underestimated his support. This year, Trump is currently leading by 4 points, and if polling errors persist, he could win by an even larger margin. Iowa has moved from a tilt red rating in 2020 to lean red in 2024, underscoring the solidification of Republican support in the state. In Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, which operates somewhat independently from the state's broader trends, Harris is actually polling ahead of where Biden was at this time in 2020, holding a solid 10-point lead. Biden ultimately won this district in 2020 by about 3.8. This improvement for Harris is largely attributed to redistricting, which has given the district a stronger Democratic base. While this district is a blue pocket in a largely red state, it underscores one of the few areas where Harris's support is stronger than Biden's, offering a small but notable silver lining for Democrats in this election. Turning to Wisconsin, another battleground state that could be pivotal, Trump currently holds a razor-thin 0.1 lead. In 2020, Biden led Trump by an average of 8 points in Wisconsin polls, but won by only 0.6, revealing a significant polling error in Democrats' favor. With both candidates essentially tied, Wisconsin has shifted from likely blue in 2020 to tilt red in 2024, making it a highly contested state that Trump must secure for a clearer path to the White House. Michigan, another vital state for both campaigns, is nearly as close. Trump holds a slim lead of just 0.2, a dramatic shift from Biden's 8-point lead at this stage in 2020. While Biden ultimately won Michigan by 2.8, this narrowing of support for Harris means the state is now in the tilt red column. A win here for Trump would deal a major blow to the Harris campaign. Ohio, another state showing a decisive shift, has Trump ahead by 7 points. In 2020, polls indicated a close race, but Trump won by a substantial 8 points. This cycle, Ohio has moved from a tilt red designation to likely red, highlighting the state's Republican lean. Pennsylvania, a state often considered the tipping point in recent elections, currently has Trump ahead by 0.5, although polling is varied. Biden won Pennsylvania by 1.2 in 2020, although polling had him leading by 4.7. The shift in Pennsylvania's polling now categorizes it from lean blue in 2020 to tilt red in 2024. Lastly, Florida continues to show strong Republican support. Trump leads by a significant 8.4, moving it from lean blue in 2020 to likely red in 2024. Taking all these changes into account, the electoral map is looking much more favorable for Trump than in 2020. Biden's 306 electoral votes in 2020 represented a solid victory, but in 2024, projections suggest Trump could secure around 312 electoral votes if these trends hold. While Harris and the Democrats still have a path to victory, the numbers suggest an uphill battle that will require a significant late-game boost in support. The uncertainty around polling accuracy and potential underestimations of Trump support makes each of these swing states crucial, as any last-minute shifts could sway the final outcome. Stay tuned for more updates as we close in on Election Day, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth election analysis.